In the name of Amun, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, in Amun we trust as the Republic of Mentellect. The real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the intellectuals. Ahmen to all of my intellectual brothers and sisters out there, registered members of the Republic of Mentellect, and to all future intellectuals who have yet to find their way home to the Republic of Mentellect, which is Amun's community. I send greetings out to you, and I send peace out to you in our Mentellect language by saying to you, Ahmen. Good evening, I'm your host, the intellectual medium MENKARAYZZ. This is Mentellect Radio. Tonight, we're going to be discussing rebuilding real men and real women in the image of Amun. This is necessary in this day and time. We are in a state of emergency, because emergency just means that to emerge from something that is much needed, something that is very necessary in the evolution of our people. We need this evolution to take place right now. We are slated for this evolution to take place right now, where, we are at a loss constantly, day in, every day in, day out, where you see the so-called black race being more and more degenerated, becoming further and further degenerated in this society. They are not in a state of evolution. They are in a state of, degeneration. No other way to say it. So-called black people get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. But out of that, those will rise to a greater height and beyond. You have to take those who are salvageable, those who were meant to be raised, and start the rising. Start the rising, the mental rising of these next men and these next women to come. The raising of the elect. So they have to be made in the image of Amun. They have to be raised in the image of the future beings, the future self, the extended self. If they are extendable, if they are salvageable, they have to be raised in that image and after that likeness. Because again, for those of us who can evolve, there is no other way back. There's only forward. And like I said, there is no evolution for this, what's currently being called the so-called black race. They are in a state of degeneracy and thus in a state of degeneration. They're going to be mixed out with the rest of the human race. That's going to happen. So we, being mindful of that, knowing that we have a real presence, a strong presence going forward in the image of Amun, we have to rebuild ourselves in the image of Amun. Rebuild ourselves as a race of supermen and superwomen in the image of Amun. A race of solar beings, a race of supreme solar beings, which is what we came here to be. Those who ported here, right? To extend life, real life, true life, solar life, Aminic life, Amun life here on this planet. The humans are going through their own revolution. That's fine. And the so-called black race is mixed up in that revolution. That's why when I see the things that's taking place amongst the so-called black race today, I don't have no real feeling about it. I might post up stuff like the emasculation of so-called black men or, what's going on with the black woman or black female or whatever. But I really, in all reality, don't care. I don't care because I know that they are part of the sacrifice. I'm going to have to just use that for this terminology here. They are part of the sacrifice. They are what must be given to, over genetically, mentally, everything, physically, mentally, spiritually, not even soulfully, because their souls are pretty much gone. They've been converted. They must be given over to help sustain the human race. They are required within the genetic soup or the genetic material to help sustain the human race to become the Greys. The black race is needed. So that's why I say, we knowing that we're not part of the black race which is made to fade out, we know that we are meant to go forward in the image of Amun, in the image of our future selves, our extended selves. And we must be made over in that image and after that likeness of our extended future selves. We represent those celestial beings on earth who are being raised or being called to raise at this moment, right now, as the elect, as the 144,000. Or the 100 plus 44,000. To say it like that. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But this is reality. This is reality. This is reality on the highest level. This is reality at the highest state of being. We have come to that reality on the highest state of being, right? So that we know that the time is near for us to extend our minds, move away from our old way of being, because again, we can't live in the same old skin that we lived in before. We can't be the same old people. We can't, we've been called to rise to the occasion, to raise the bar and let the power of our ascendancy raise us to a greater height, make greater decisions, make supreme choices in our lives and whatnot, so that we can go forward as a race, as an Ahmen race from the human race. We are being chosen. We are being turned on, cut on, switched on by the power of the Amun race to raise us forward continuously in the future, separate from the human, as it was meant to be. So we must rebuild ourselves in the image of the Amun, which means we must carry ourselves with a supreme mindset. We must carry ourselves with a supreme, unemotional mindset. That is what's required of those who are being raised as real men and real women in the image of Amun. That we carry ourselves as a supreme race of people, a supreme race of persons, I might as well say, a supreme race of persons, right? That Amun race, that is the race that we're talking about. We ain't talking about the black race. We ain't talking about the white race. We ain't talking about the human race. We're talking about the Amun race, the Amun race, the bright race, the solar projected race, of which we as the elect are a part of. We are in alignment with that. This is who we came here to be. We came here to enbrighten the world, enbrighten the planet with this transmission from the fourth dimension. This is reality. Evolution, extension is reality. Evolution and extension is reality, and we are part of that greater picture of extension and evolution in reality. We are being made in the image of Amun. How you know that is because those of us who have accepted this message logically, rationally, without emotion, without belief attached to it, without any doubt. Because, in the beginning, some of our people naturally had doubt, and that's fine. But if at this point you still got doubt, then you got to go back to the drawing board or just leave the drawing board altogether. But we are being remade in the image of Amun. We're being extended in the image of Amun, in the image of our ascendants. We are given broader vision, stronger vision, greater vision into the future. We're being given our power, our higher mental capabilities. We're being given it going forward into the future. We're being given it going forward into the future to raise ourselves up, to separate ourselves, to strengthen our minds, and thus take our place in the future world, the next world, the world that is on its way, that's coming in as the true law and the true order on this planet. The true supremacy on this planet, the Amun race. The Amun race. The Amun race. And it's not to be mistaken with the black race. Because again, you got some of these people sit up here and say, oh, see, he a black supremacist, and he just saying Amun to replace black people or so-called African Americans or Negroes. He believes that the black people, the African Americans, the Negroes are the Amun race, and that they're going to be supreme people over the white people and everybody else. No, that's not what I said. No, that is not what I said. For the simple-minded, for the slow, I said that we are not part of the black race. We as the bright race, the solar intelligent race, the Amun race, are not a part of the black race. So when I'm using the word Amun, I'm not saying it as a replacement for black people, African Americans, or Negroes, or nor am I trying to push some black supremacy nonsense. No, this ain't about no black supremacy, because we're not black people. The so-called African American Negroes in this society, the clones, they're black people. They're people in darkness. They are black people who are absent of light, yeah. But when we say we're bright people or the bright race, we're saying we are that solar intelligent race, that projected race of high intellectual beings, high mentally functioning beings, logical, rational beings who can process high projection of extended transmission, extended images, extended pictures, everything, future images. This is who we are being raised into becoming, being able to process high ideology, high transmission, high intel. Forward. Fourth dimensional. This is what I mean. This ain't got nothing to do with no color. Even though those who are carrying the bright transmission, the bright illumination, they are the bronze race. They are bronze people. We are the bronze race, as in skin complexion. We are the bronze race, as in physical, genetic makeup. We are the bronze race, not the black race. Again, not using bronze as a switch out for black. We are the brighter bronze race. We are the bright bronze race, the Ahmen race, who carries that high solar projection, that high extension into the future. This is who we are. This is who the elect are. We are being raised as that, as these fourth dimensional beings and beyond. We're being raised beyond the low and beyond the high. We're being raised above the low and beyond the high. This is what the elect are being raised to do and being made in the image of real men and real women. We are raising ourselves, and we're going to raise our children to be the future leaders of tomorrow, the next world coming in, the haven or the heaven that you was talking about, and not no place in the sky on some clouds. No, we're talking about the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension of space and time that is coming in to alter this present space and time, where the full-on picture is being filled in. The full-on picture is being filled in. There's no more partial picture anymore. There's no more, we don't know. Ain't no more of that. We starting to know. So when you're starting to know, not believe, but when you have that race of people who are starting to know logically, rationally, who are being raised up by this transmission of intellect, as they start to gather, that is a sign that we are becoming those real men and real women, those real mental beings. Because real, like I said, men, MEN, women, MEN, the MEN represents the mental. It's short for mental. Men is short for mental. So we are those omni-mental beings, and mental beings, or the Amun beings, the mental beings and the mental beings. We are those high-functioning mental receivers and transmitters. We're being raised to be that. So we are thinking of ourselves as those high thinkers, those extended thinkers. So again, we have become, or we are becoming, we're in the state of continuously becoming those real men and real women. Because real men and real women are the bronze men and bronze women, the ones of the brighter transmission, the brighter illumination. That's who the real men and real women are, the ones who were projected here. Everybody else here on the planet is false. Everybody else that was created here, cloned here, are false and limited to the three-dimensional realm. They are not the real men and real women on earth. They are not. They were not projected here in the image of Ahmen. They were not projected here in the image of the creators, the projectors, the producers, those who produce this whole life and existence that's taking place right now. They are not the projections of Ahmen. They are the rejections of Ahmen. They are the reflections of the Ahmen, which is us. They are our limited reflections. We are the high-functioning, high-frequency carrying projections of Ahmen, and they represent the low-functioning lunar version of us, the lesser version of us, right? The three-dimensional version of us, who are the fourth dimensionals. We are the fourth dimensionals. We are Ahmen, not human. We are Ahmen, not human. We are Ahmen, not human. And we are the lords that are spoken of in these so-called holy books and these ancient texts, where you were saying Amen, Amun, Amen, 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 whatever. We represent that race of lords on earth that are being raised up on earth. This is a race of beings. A race. And that race is being raised out from amongst the so-called dead, the black race. That race, that bronze race, who are waking up, who know who we are, who we know we not no black people, we not no African, we not no Negro, we not no created beings, we not no human beings. We know we're something higher than that. That is being raised up in this day and time. That is being projected in this day and time. Who we are. as the real mental beings on this earth, the real receivers and transmitters on this earth, the real bright race, Amun race. So we're being made over in that image and after that likeness. We are perfecting ourselves. We are perfecting intellectuals, not practicing Christians or practicing Muslims or practicing. We ain't practicing nothing. We are perfecting intellectuals. Perfecting intellectuals. Perfecting intellectuals meaning that we are perfecting ourselves every day. Every day, whether we working out, whether we separating ourselves from low-level, low-minded, limited people, whether we are working on bringing something forward, bringing something that forward is going to change the world, creating something, we are constantly refocusing ourselves, extending ourselves, expanding ourselves, and raising ourselves to become those real, high-functioning mental beings in this fourth dimensional realm. Or should I say this three-dimensional realm on its way to the fourth dimension, because we're the only ones that's going to cross over into the fourth dimension, not nobody else. And from the fourth dimension, we will control everybody else. We will be the next law in the next order. We will be the next law in the Ahmen race. This is what we are being raised up and prepared for in this day and time. This is not a game. This is not a game. This is not a game. This is not no belief. This ain't no, oh, he crazy. And like I said, people say whatever they want. Oh, this guy, you know, what's wrong? We don't care. We done tuned all of y'all out. Y'all don't matter. We tuned you out. This is truly mind over matter that's taking place right now, where the real men and real women are being raised up in the image of Amen. We are really starting to represent the mind over matter. This is what we're starting to represent. We are starting to represent the minds over matter. The mind over the material. The mind of the Amen over the material of the human are being raised in the image of Amen as real men and real women. And the separation is taking place right now. The separation is taking place. The separation is key as we are coming into our own covenant, our own community, separate from everybody else, man. As Amen, as our ascendants are transmitting that we do, that we separate ourselves, that we isolate ourselves from everybody else so that we can grow together collectively. We ain't trying to take in the energy of these sick black people here on the planet who are following the image of the beast, who are degenerate and who are degrading themselves every day in the image of the beast. No. Amen, our ascendants, not no God, not no devil, not no spirit or no spook, but our ascendants are transmitting that we separate ourselves as men and women of the next law and the next order, the true Lord. Because what did I tell you? The word Lord is short for law and order. Lord is short for law and order. The L is really short for the AW, and the OR is short for the order, the ORD. The Lord is law and order together. So we as men and women represent the Lord. We are the race of Lord. Both men and women being raised in the image of Amen as the Amen race. That is us, the elect of Amen. The Amen are being raised from amongst the humans, separated from amongst the humans. This is the reality of what's taking place right now. This is reality. It's not fantasy. It's not belief. This is really happening. How do you know that? Because the more and more degeneracy is allowed to take hold in this three-dimensional realm, where you got these so-called black men walking around selling their masculinity. The black woman is black female bugged out of her mind, walking around with blonde hair in her head, mixing her seed. The more and more degenerate it gets, you have to have, just as the degeneracy is taking place, you have to have certain ones who are going to be regenerated. And we're not going to be regenerating by no philosophy of the beast. We're not going to be regenerating by no spirituality or no some black womanhood or some divine mother garbage comes from the beast. We're not regenerating by no earthbound knowledge. We are being raised up by the serpentine frequency of the Amen, our ascension. Right now. Right now. That time is right now. Amen is calling us through me, the Amen receiver in this day and time. And it's only going to be a chosen few, an elect a chosen few that's being raised in the image of Ahmen. This ain't for everybody. That's why I said Mentellect is not for black people. We ain't trying to convince nobody. We ain't trying to have nobody, believe what NUBEN say. Look, ain't no more debates. Ain't no more convincing. Ain't no more answering no questions. If you're not asking the questions for clarity, they become part of this transmission, there's no answers for you, man. You black. We ain't trying to convince black people. We ain't trying to do none of that. They belong to the beast, man. They already done been judged already. There's no saving them. They're judged already. This transmission is not going out for them. It is only going out for the elect, the bright race, the mentellectuals, those who are truly of the Amenic seed, the Amenic bloodline. Because those who are truly of the Amenic seed and the Amenic bloodline are going to hear this transmission. They're going to hear this transmission, and they're going to raise by the power of this transmission. They're going to come into alignment with this transmission. They're not going to be sitting up here, oh, is it real? Is it real? Is NUBEN telling the truth? And they're already going to know what it is. When they hear it, they're going to know what it is. They ain't going to have to believe, is NUBEN what he said? No, they ain't going to have to believe nothing in this day and time, because it's going to make sense. We're going to break it all the way down till it can't be broken down no more, this transmission of Mentellect and the rebuilding of the real men and real women. Because, again, we don't have time to play games. We ain't got time to entertain foolishness and stupidity. I apologize to you all, my followers, and those who are potential members of this republic, for entertaining foolishness earlier. No more of that, like I told you. Ain't no more turning back. Ain't no more looking back. It's only looking forward now. That's it. We're being transmitted to by Ahmen, by our ascendants, to raise in the image of Ahmen, to restructure and rebuild real men in the image of Ahmen, rebuild real women in the image of Ahmen. Because you see the so-called what's being passed off as men and women here today. You see what's being passed off as men and women here today. You see that? Degeneracy on all sides, throughout the whole human race. Nothing but degeneracy. That's all we seeing right now. All we seeing is degeneracy. We ain't seeing no regeneration. We're not seeing that unless it's coming from us. Unless we're changing our mind, unless we are extending ourselves, unless we are coming together. This is why this community is necessary. This is why this republic is necessary. It is necessary. We need this. This ain't no luxury. This is a necessity that we come together in order to grow ourselves into the real men and real women that Ahmen is transmitting that we become, in order to receive our power here on earth, to move into the fourth dimension, to take our rightful places, the next law and order from the fourth dimension. This is real. This is not a game. Hear me. This is not for those who are looking to pick up a new belief system. This is not for those who are looking to come in here and socialize. This is only for those who are of the covenant, of the body. And those who are not of the covenant, who are not of the body, like I said, get from amongst us. Get from away from us. We don't want you around us. We don't want you around us. We only want those who are of this mind, of this body, and of this soul of Ahmen. The future. We don't want nobody coming bringing some nonsense from the past, some earthbound garbage, some Moorish science, some Pan-Africanism, some Egyptology. We don't want that. God is mother nonsense. We don't want garbage, earthbound nonsense. We only want this fourth dimensional transmission that's going to raise us in the image of Ahmen, make new men and new women, that serpentine frequency that's coming for us. This is what we want. This is what we've been waiting for, and it is coming right now. It is raising us gradually in the image of Ahmen, in the image of our ascendants. No more spook gods, no more false devils, no more scaring the people. And no, the people are going to be raised by logic and rationale, and they're going to hear the logic and rationale in this message if it's meant for you to hear it. If it is meant for you to hear this transmission, if you are of the elect, if you are part of those real men and real women that are being raised in this day and time and for the future. Those of you who are not, those of you who are emotional, those of you who can't move on, then move on away from us. Get away from us. This is only going to be for the strong, the unemotional, the real, the logical. That's all this message is going to be for. It ain't going to be for people who we got to be, oh, well, come on, brother, come on, sister. You know, we understand what you're going through emotionally. We understand. No, absolutely not. We ain't out here trying to push Jesus is the key. We ain't out here trying to push that religion is the key or spirituality or Mother Nature or whatever garbage. We're not pushing none of that or that African garbage. We're not pushing that. We're giving our people the reality of this evolution. Again, the reality is that this evolution, this regeneration of real men and real women in the image of Amun is not going to be for everybody. It's only for the elect, the chosen few. I've been saying this over and over and over again. This is not black people, the black people gathering. This is the bright race gathering. And raising ourselves to be real men and real women, disciplining ourselves, cooperating ourselves, cooperating with each other, moving in alignment. That right there is already a quantum leap. Just doing that coming from amongst black people who are uncooperative, emotional, simple-minded, disagreeable, all for nothing. This is saying something that we're able to come together, even though we might have some defectors. That's fine. We open the door and tell you to leave all the time. We don't want you here. If you're not coming to be a part of this community collectively and raise up as real men and real women, because that takes strength. That takes strength. That takes focus. That takes fortitude. That takes a strong grasp of reality because, again, we don't play the fantasy game here. We don't play the fantasy game. We don't play the, we trying to cater to people. We ain't doing that. We don't play the, we chasing the money from the people. We ain't playing that. Money can't buy your way into this. Your mind will bring you into this. Your soul will bring you into this, and your body will follow. You will make yourself those hollow people. Those hollow people who are going to receive the transmission of Amen going forward into the future. You, the elect, the real men and real women who will be raised in the image of Amen in this day and time for the next, as we're coming into the next. You are being chosen to extend. Those chosen minds, that's why we became those intellectuals, those chosen minds. We evolved into that. Those chosen minds, those chosen elected minds. We are locking in one by one, by one, by four, by four, by four, by NVVN 144. We locking in mind, body, and soul. And we're tuning out those who are not part of this transmission. We're tuning out all those people who are on those lower levels, still talking about a bunch of ignorant foolishness and nonsense, a bunch of circular garbage. We're tuning those people out. We're toning those people out. Eventually, we're going to become tone deaf to those people anyway. When they talk, it's going to sound like a bunch of gibberish, as it does now. Because like I said, this is why I can't even watch TV no more. And I'm being real, I can't even watch TV no more. I might watch a few things on YouTube. I damn sure can't watch a lot of this stuff on YouTube. So I'm in greater seclusion because of this message reshaping and regenerating my mind every day. I feel it. I don't care who don't believe me or who don't think I'm telling. I don't care. We're not here for the popularity. This ain't the popularity club. This ain't the emotional club. This ain't the change your mind club. This is the evolutionary reality of who we have come to be as the elect, as we are being raised in the image of Amen. The real men and real women. And those of you who are weak, those of you who are emotional, those of you who can't sacrifice your weakness and your emotional low frequency, you got to go. You were meant to die amongst the black race, man. fade out amongst the black race, because that's the only reason. Like I said, at this point, that's what you're seeing right now. You can say anything you want about me. Oh, you ain't telling the truth. You making it. You say whatever you want, but you can't deny the fact that what's being called the black race is degenerating. And when there's a degeneration happening in one place, a regeneration is happening in the next. As a degeneration is happening in one place, a regeneration is happening in the next. Where else, if not here, in this message? Where else? Where else is a regeneration taking place, if not in this community, if not in this message? Even if we small right now, even if we small, we still greater than those who are carrying no transmission, because we got that live feed. This message is bringing us forward and making us alive again, bringing us from the dead, bringing us from amongst the dead, making us see them for who they really are, revealing who they are, and thus revealing who we are, that we are not like you. We're not a part of you. We don't think like you. We don't receive or transmit like you. We don't believe like you. We're something else. We are something else. We who have come in the image of the creators, the projectors, the extenders of this greater transmission. You see, that's who we came to be. That's who we came to be in this day and time, collectively coming together within the three-dimensional realm for our ascension into the fourth dimension. This is what we came to be, who we came here to become. Ahmen is calling us, our ascendants are calling us from the future, sounding the alarm, raising us up in this day of emergency, strengthening us, mind, body, and soul, to come together as a collective body in the image of Ahmen, in the image of us. So when I say hail Ahmen, hail us, I mean we are those Ahmen. And we must become stronger every day. We must become stronger every day. We must become focused every day and not allow ourselves to turn back and give energy to foolishness and stupidity and emotion. Things that will not raise us but will only destroy us in the times to come. We have to separate from that mindset and the people that carry that mindset. We have to turn our backs on these things and these people, because they are no more. We are no longer going to give energy to the dead. We're not giving energy to the dead. We're not giving power to the dead by giving them our energy, meaning our attention. No. No more. Because real men and real women, real mental beings. And again, we're not judging real men and real women based on what the white man says or the humans say, a real man and real woman. We don't give a damn about what they say, because they're not even real. They're not real. They're nothing but a bunch of creations and clones that's walking this planet. So the real men and the real women are being judged by the projection of those real men and real women, which is the Ahmen. They're judging us as real men and real women. That's all that counts. That is all that counts. That is all that counts. Nothing else. Their judgment, their projection, their transmission to us to become those real men and real women. That's all that counts. You see? And those who cannot raise that level, and those who want to sever themselves by way of this judgment, then it was never meant for you to walk this extended path. It wasn't meant for you to walk this extended path. And woe to those who played with this transmission of Ahmen, who took it like it was a joke. That's fine. That is fine. This is another transmission that is about the real men and real women being raised, because the real men and real women, they see you, those who are false. We see everything in this three-dimensional realm that is false and that is flawed. We see it. Even in ourselves, we see the flawedness, the flaws in ourselves. And so we're being charged as the Ahmen race to correct it. Correct it so that we can move forward together within the fourth dimension. We are being charged to correct ourselves in the image of Ahmen in this day and time, to make ourselves greater, to make ourselves supreme in the image of Ahmen, in the image of our ascendants. to make ourselves greater, to make them greater. We owe it to the ascension. This is what we're doing this for. That's what I'm doing it for. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just for the ascension, for our ascendance. Because this is what we came here to do. We came here to make ourselves greater in the image of us. And us is our ascendant, the collective that's being gathered in this day and time, the collective body, to strengthen our minds, remove the emotion, focus on the pure logic, the pure rationale, the necessity of us becoming one body, one mind and one soul as a collective race of bright one. The Ahmen race, this is being projected to us in this day and time. This is being projected to us in this day and time. And we must not let that go. Because this is the only transmission that's coming for us. This is the only extension that's coming from us. It is not coming from any place else. It is not. All we got. And the extension of this is all that we need. The extension of Amen is all we need. We don't need nothing else in the three-dimensional realm. Because as we embrace an Amen, everything that we need in this three-dimensional realm is going to come to us anyway. It's going to come to us anyway as we are moving forward. Everything that we need is going to come to us anyway. So when I say we got exactly what it is that we need in this projection, within this transmission to move forward, yes, I mean that. Our ascendants are transmitting to us in this day and time, in real time, to me right now. They're transmitting to us, to raise us, so that we are able to carry them into this present state. So we're able to bring them forward. We have to be raised up in their image and after their likeness so that we can bring them forward in this day and time. We have to clean ourselves up, clean up our minds, clean up our bodies, and clean up our souls, meaning rid ourselves of the emotion, rid ourselves of the weakness, rid ourselves of the selfishness, rid ourselves of the simple-minded folly and the ignorance. Rid ourselves of these things. Strengthen ourselves by way of our ascendants. Be strong for our children. Be strong for their children. Be strong, and this continues forward and beyond. Because this is the only place and the only way we're going to find our way into our true space as the rulership, the next authority, as it's supposed to be. Again, I told you everything is going forward into natural order as it's supposed to. You can only carry an artificial and degenerate form of order for so long. You can only carry it but for so long. So the natural order of things is going to kick into effect. It's happening. Because as our minds are changing, the times are going to change. As our minds are changing, the times are going to change. Our minds are going to change the times. Our minds are going to change the times. Our minds is the Amun race. As we are realizing we are the Amun race, the bright race, not the black, not the African American, the African Negro, all that nonsense. As we are changing our minds, we're going to change the times and the people as we strengthen our minds. See, this was always the biggest fear, that we strengthen our minds, that we took our minds out of the state of emotion and belief and raised above that. That was the biggest fear, that we would wake up. And we have woken up from amongst the dead. We have woken up from amongst those in the two-dimensional level. We have woken up from those who are amongst the low three-dimensional level. And we're coming together in the upper three-dimensional state, the highest state. I told you we start at the top and move to the beyond. We're going to start at the top and move from the beyond. From the top to the beyond. Ain't no bottom. It's only the top and beyond. That's why I said to you, as we are extending the Republic of Mentellect, I look at the most successful and the greatest movements that came before us. And I structure our movement and somewhat in the path of those great movements, the things that appeal to us. Because again, all of these movements that came, they were transmissions that were sent by the Ahmen as a form of evolution for us to finally get it in this day and time and take some of these things with us as we going forward. So again, when I talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, and how he cleaned up the men and the women, right, by that transmission of Amun, not no Allah, not no Master Fard and nobody else, but the transmission of the true Lord, Amun. Because he said that the black man was God. He said God is a man. Amen. God is a man. God is amen. 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 Put the spookism out of God or the Lord or the ruler and put it in the hands of the people where it belongs so that they can raise themselves up. But again, the people weren't ready for that. Even the people that still following him ain't ready for that. Even though it was on a level that was, for that time. But it's still what he was doing was going over the heads of a lot of people. But it has not been missed with us because, again, Amun sent that transmission to him, came through Dr. York, came through me. Like I said, this is an ongoing extension because the whole goal is always to clean up the men and the women, clean up their minds, raise the real men and real women after the image of the Lord. Now, right now, we're being let known, being revealed to that Lord represents law and order together as the men and women together, the serpentine power. And that's us being raised in this day and time. That represents us being raised in this day and time. That's us. That's the elect that's being raised in this day and time because we're going to receive the highest knowledge, the highest transmission, the highest and logical and most rational frequency of transmission, mental transmission on this planet, above and beyond mankind. And this is coming via Ahmen. This is coming via the projectionists. This is coming via the transmitters, of which we are the receivers of which we, as the elect of Ahmen, the Ahmen race, are the receivers of in this day and time. We are those receptionaries, and we are going to transmit it forward. And our children, and their children, and their children to come. We are preparing ourselves to become those real men and real women in the image of Ahmen so that we can go forward in the future. Unemotional, not focused on foolishness and stupidity. This is what we have transmitted to becoming. This is what we have become in these days and times. This is what it's come to because, again, there's no place else to go. There's no place else to go. We've hit the end. And now, the next. We'll be right back. As time goes and we are in constant evolution, we're going to see those who will continuously devolve around us. When they say, and it made me think about what Minister Farrakhan, he did that speech, he said, where the key is Jesus. You know what? On a higher level, I get that. The key is Jesus for the humans. The key is Jesus for the humans, because Jesus, or the idea of Jesus, will bring humans all together. Notice they all share the same belief, no matter what race they are. I don't care where they're from. They all being geared toward the Jesus program, like I was saying yesterday. And what are they being geared there for? To basically become one race of people under the image of Jesus, which is that low-level frequency of the Amun race. They say Jesus is the key to uniting the human race. Yes, as the gray race. Amun is the key for raising the Amun race, the elect. Amun is the key for raising the bright race. Amun is the key for raising the bright race. By that blue frequency, that extended blue frequency of higher dimensional states, greater law, greater order. Amun is the key. Amun is the continuation into this extended state of being. Amun is. So, Amun is making us into the next law and the extended order. Amun is making us into the supreme law and divine order. Bless men and women, NZZN 144. Amun is raising us power and by that image. Amun is continuing us by that state of higher definitive reality. Amun is continuing us. And as Amun continues us, as Amun raises us, we are becoming the greater of the extension, the greater of the power, the greater of the elect. We are becoming that. We are becoming that extension of power as we go through each dimension, becoming law and order. Law and order for the power or the redistribution of power into a state of high frequency. We are the law. We are the order. We will become the extension of the supreme law and the supreme order of Amun, the serpentine, the continuation of the serpentine in upper dimensions and higher states and greater form. This is us in this age. This is us in this reality, in this supreme reality, in this divine reality, where there is only extension of men and women in divine law and supreme order. Supreme law and divine order, interchangeable. We have become that. We have become that. Right? We have become that. Those celestial beings, those projected beings, those extended beings. We have become that. We will continue to be that. We will continue to raise as that. We will continue as that race of men, as that race of women, who are those high mental beings, who are those high functioning beings. We are that. We are becoming that. It is required that we are continuously that. That which is a constant and continuous state of law and order. Never to break the law or sever the order. See, in this society, if you notice, they're constantly casting. Why do you think they're constantly casting black people? Why do you think they're constantly casting black people as the lawbreakers? They constantly want to show black people as lawbreakers. And they want to constantly put these rappers or these people out here who are talking about always breaking the law, who are constantly breaking the law. Why do you think they do that? Answer, because again, by them convincing us that we are the lawbreakers or that black people are the lawbreakers, they will continue to be the law. They will keep themselves in power as the law. They will keep themselves in power as the law by convincing us that we are the law breakers. Do you see where I'm going with this? In order for them to stay in power as the law and the order, they have to continuously promote us as lawless and disorderly people. When the reality of it is and even the so-called white man said this, our people were the most conservative people. And what do I mean when I say that we were more conservative than anybody, than the white man, anybody? We really are the conservatives, because the real conservatives are the people who keep law and order. See, the people who are the what do you call those people? You got the conservative Republicans. Those are the real people who are supposed to be, and that was really what we were. Because, after slavery, we were Republicans and we were conservatives. Follow me where I'm going with this. But conservative and Republican about life and things like that, about reality, about a higher being, a higher state. That's what the real mindset of that conservative come from. We are the real conservatives. But then what did the beast do? He came with the democratic liberal. I'm going to show you, because that's policy. See, the democratic liberal, or the liberals, a.k.a. the liberated, when you had the man and the woman, the men and the women who were conservative, they worked together, they conserved, and they were able to put their energy into greater things, because that's what a conservative does, one who saves something. The men and the women were conservative, they were able to work together and to achieve things. Why? Answer, because they knew that it made logical sense to be conservative. Then the beast came and started pushing liberty or liberalism, and everything went out the window. That's when you start promoting democracy, demo, meaning to destroy. To demo something means to bring something down and destroy it. Republic or raise is to raise something up, to repopulate. Democrat, demo, is to tear something down. They got black people to become Democrats, thus putting that spell on you to want to always destroy something, tear something down, right? That program on you. Democrat, y'all started associating with that Democrat, and you looked at the so-called Republicans as something bad, even though these beasts took it over and degenerated it. You looked at conservative as being bad. You saw a liberal as being good. You looked at Republican as being bad. You saw a Democrat as being something good when they switched around on you, because with the democracy and with the liberalism, that's when you allow all kinds of filth and degeneracy in. That's when you allow homosexuality, lesbianism, pedophilia, right? Race mixing. All these things you allow in once you become that democratic liberal. You start to destroy society, breaking down law. You start being more liberal or liberated. The women become whores and sluts. The men become homosexual. All this comes under a democratic, libertarian society. See, the beast, he keeps us as a democratic, libertarian society so he can keep you so-called black people in a degenerate state, along with the rest of the low-level people. But he casts himself as a conservative Republican, where he sits on top as the law and the order. See, that got to change. That has to change. I'm just showing you what it means and what the breakdown of that stuff really means. You see, even in his politics, aka his policy, because he put all that up to basically the democratic liberal to break you down as a people. He used that as a way to break you down, and it worked. It worked. He figured a way to break you down. And he used it by way of his policy, his program, his tricks. And his tricks worked. His tricks worked. His tricks worked on our people. His tricks worked on our people, destroyed the minds of our people. And they continue to destroy the minds of our people. It continues to destroy the minds of our people. We have to wake up from that. We have to wake up from that. As a power, as a race, as a continued people, we have to wake up from that. We have to wake up from that as a divine and extended mind of men and women, mental beings, high-functioning mental beings. High-functioning mental beings. High-frequency beings. This is what we have to wake up from. This is what we have to become. Those high-functioning, high-frequency beings. And as we are becoming that, as we are extending to that, as we are transmitting to that, as those diamond minds, as those diamond frequencies, we are transmitting onto this highest level, to this highest state. The illumination, the projection of real men and real women were being raised continuously in the image of Ahmen. In the image of Ahmen. That blue frequency, that blue state, that blue mind. Notice, come to a point we have come from, or we're going to leave the state of infinity for the state of eternity. We're going to leave the state of infinity, the circle, the chaotic and uncontrolled circle, the chaotic and confused circle, and we're going to go into the state of eternal law and order. This is what Amun is transmitting for us. This is what Amun is transmitting to the elect. That we become those powers. That we become those beings. That we become those state of extended beings. This is what Amun is transmitting to us. As one mind, one body, one soul, and one continuous transmission. There is nothing else to receive or transmit or connect to. There is nothing else. There is only this transmission. It is only this transmission of continuous power. And the receivers of this transmission of continuous power are becoming the real men and real women of the next law and the extended order. We are becoming those beings that will keep the law and order from here to eternity. And the humans who we will have to watch over, keep a watchful eye over, that will become our job, our mission on this planet. To keep watch of the humans, to raise ourselves up away from the humans, continue ourselves in the image of Amun, to raise by the power of Amun. This transmission is being brought to you by Amun, and we are being raised by Amun, and we are being collected by Amun, collectively as one. Collectively as one. This transmission gives us that divine frequency of power. This transmission gives us this divine frequency of transmission. This power gives us this divine frequency of supremacy as men and women of power, men and women of control, men and women of high frequency, high mental capabilities, supermen, superwomen, supernatural resources of control, supernatural resources of order, supernatural resources of law, supreme law, basically keeping everybody in line. This is our job, and we got off our post. This was our job, and we got off our post. So now, we're going to be put in our place again. We're going to be put in our place again. Forward. In power. In mind. And in body. Forward. In mind. In body. In power. In extension. In transmission. NZZN, NZZN, NZZN 144. Hail Amen. Hail Amen in this day and time for raising the elect and extending us by way of this supreme and divine gift of transmission. the ability to hear, listen, and transmit. The ability to hear, listen, receive, transmit. Ahmen has guided us to this. This is all that we've come to do, all we've come here to be, all that we came here to transmit by way of, all that we were meant to project by. That is the projection. That is the extension. That is the one of many within the collective transmission of supreme power. We are the ones in unison with that power. One unimental force, one unimental picture, one unimental reality. We'll be right back. The blue bloods are being raised. The real blue bloods, the people of law and order. Let's take a quick call. 770.
How you doing, Mr. MENKARAYZZ?
How you doing?
Doing great, brother. I came to a speaking that you had back in 2018 in Atlanta.
Okay. All right.
And it was really a breath of fresh air. I had listened to you for just a few years before I came to see you, and I actually was on my way to work, but it was important that I actually come by and actually hear you speak and see you. I mean, just your delivery and everything. And I'm one of the few brothers out here, man. I mean, just like kind of how you say, man, I'm not feeling everything that's going on in the society, the quote unquote, the world. People are so influenced, and I've always had a detachment for the greater part of my life, and everything, I guess, is kind of ironically steered me towards you. And when I stumbled upon you, I was really feeling it, because I'm kind of a similar brother. I'm like a Generation X type of guy, I don't believe in all the pants hanging down and all that crazy stuff, but in a nutshell, man, everything that you're doing is very prosperous for the few, not the many, the few. And, you may not remember, but I had on a red shirt. I had a do-rag on or whatever. I'm a scarred brother, man. I mean, I have physical scar and physical detriment or whatever, but it's always been something, I guess, that's kind of held me back in a sense or whatever. But moving forward, I mean, what you have going on, like you said, man, this is like the last stand, man. I mean, but I'm not like some pretty boy or anything. I mean, I have a condition or whatever. I'm not like the Elephant Man or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know. It's been a reluctance, moving forward, I guess, in the Republic of Mentellect or whatever. If I do or did move forward, I've always said to myself that I make sure that I have something to offer. I mean, I do a lot of electrical stuff and everything. I have some pretty cool inventions or whatever that, to say the least, are very foundational or whatever. But I don't know, man. I just wanted to call you tonight. It's been about 2.5 years since I last called in, and I want to commend you everything that you're doing or whatever. But I mean, for somebody like myself moving forward, there's a physically scarred brother or whatever. Not that.
So then what you're saying is, you're saying that you like the message and you bear witness to this message, but you're too dead to receive it.
I don't want to say too dead, but
let me tell you. No, stop. Either you are receiving this transmission and you are walking with Amun, or you walk with the beast. Ain't no in between, brother. None. Either you are of the living or you are of the dead. The living will be walking with the elect in this day and time at the next law and the next order. Do you hear me?
I hear you, brother.
All right, so.
All right.
Bye-bye. 336.
Hey, what's going on, Newbie? Hey, listen, I gotta ask you a question because
Speak up.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, your phone is low as hell, but you need to, but go ahead.
I'm in a bad area. Hold on. But I had a debate with one of my friends talking about the community, the so-called the bronze community. And I was telling him how the bronze community need to be more of a militant, just like the Nation of Islam back in the early 50s and 60s. How they need to be more of a militant currency type of thing.
Listen, brother. Listen. Them days are over. All right. This is a mental war. And until our people raise to the mind, because again, all that militant stuff and talking all that stuff, that's acting off of emotion. Black people are emotional, and they only want to get angry and mad because the white man don't want to accept them. But now he's going to start accepting these niggas, and they're going to mix their seed out of existence. So hail on into that. What we saying going forward is this, that we are raising by mind continuously, being raised by mind continuously, and using our soul and our body as fuel to get us into the next mental space. That's what we're saying is the elect who are going to keep the next law and the next order in this fourth dimensional realm as the Amun race, which we are. We don't care about nothing else nobody did. We ain't interested in the bronze race getting themselves together. We don't care about that, brother. We done with that.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. I don't want to talk no more. But I do want to talk. I want to transmit. I want my people to hear me because we're on a whole other frequency. I don't care about what happened yesterday. Like I told you, I don't care about what's going on today. What I am focused on is tomorrow and us establishing our place in the future projection of this continuous state, this Amun state. We are of Amun. We are Amun. And we will continue to be Amun going forward as that next men and those next women, those real men and real women. Because again, real means that you are continuous. We are ongoing. We are never going to stop coming forward once we hit this fourth dimensional state. Once we raise our minds to this fourth dimensional state, we will never stop coming forward. So that means we real, because real things last forever. Real things last forever as an eternity. As an eternity, we're going to live forever. Once we hit this fourth dimensional state, and I am not being, I say symbolic about it, I'm not being, allegorical, I'm being literal. When we hit this fourth dimensional state, we will live forever in the state of eternity as real men and real women, and we are becoming that by the extension of our minds. And we will constantly monitor the lower world, the lesser world, the three-dimensional realm, where life is cycled in and life is cycled out. But we will continue forever if we remember our place as the law and the order, as the real men and the real women of law and order. If we remember that, we're not interested in this back and forth of black and white. We ain't interested in this, militancy nonsense. We ain't interested in this going against America. We don't care about who the president is. We don't care about nothing that's going on in this present-day society. As far as we're concerned as the intellectuals of the Amun race, everything is proceeding along just as it's supposed to. Everything is right in alignment to the destruction and the regeneration. So that's all we focused on. That's why I was telling my mother, my dear mother, I said, Ma, I don't care about what's going on with these niggas, all these goddamn white people, these crackers. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about what's going on with these humans. It's all proceeding as according to plan. This is the bigger plan, the bigger picture, divine and extended picture of Ahmen, so that we can be seated in our proper place, in the state of rulership, in the state of power, in the state of continuous transmission, reception. NZZN144. That transmission is going out. Those coordinates are going out. Those continuous states of reality, real reality, men and women, men and women of reality, because again, that's what real men and real women are, men and women of reality. No fantasy, no belief, no emotion, none of this fantasy nonsense, but the real, the reality, the men and women of reality. And we have to constantly be focused on this living reality. So let me go ahead and read these questions before we get out of here. What is rebuilding real men and real women in the image of Ahmen? That means real men and real women, those men and women of pure reality, pure logic, pure rationale, non-emotional, who are ready to stand together to be that next law and next order. Put our minds in a seat of rulership, in the seat of supremacy as the Amun race. That is the mentality that we must raise going forward. The raising of the real men and real women. Why is this necessary? Because again, there's no going back. There's no going back. Those who went back, they was never really here. Those who went back into the world, into the dead world, into the dead three-dimensional world, even lower back into the two-dimensional, I ain't gonna say the three-dimensional, in the two-dimensional realm, you was never really here anyway. You was just here, breathing for a minute, and now you went back into that state of death. We're not following you. Not the elect anyway. Can everyone be rebuilt in this supreme image? No. And I meant to say in this supreme projection, no, because you have to be projected from this supreme state in order to be regenerated in this supreme state. You have to be part of that projection to be part of the regeneration. You see, ain't no, we just going, we going to try and make you better and see if we can convince you. No, either you born to this or you not, man. Either you are of Ahmen and are Ahmen or you're not. Your emotions and your inability to process higher intelligence and move on logically will dictate that who you really are. Your ability to follow orders logically and rationally and move forward continuously without emotion will see and dictate whether you are fit to be those real men and real women. Are there real men and real women left on earth? Only the ones that's going to be raised of Ahmen. Forget these other people. Forget the black race. You see where the black race is going, right? You see where they're going. And see the righteous ones of our people who know all this is wrong and whatnot. And you see the black race participating in the same race, the same thing with the so-called whites and the rest of everybody else. Like I said, the reason why we know it's wrong in our soul and in our minds because we are supposed to naturally be working to change it to come into that law and that order. But see, it doesn't register in the minds of a lot of people. So again, they represent the dead because we're supposed to be the right that corrects the wrong, the righteous. And that's it. We're going to close out in the name of Ahmen, by the power of Ahmen. In Ahmen we trust, in Ahmen we think, and in Ahmen we continue forward. Forever, hail Ahmen, hail them intellectuals. I am the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ. This has been Mentellect Radio. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 10 on the dot. Good night.
Rising out the black race to the bright race, out the black race to the bright race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the bright race. If it's hell Ahmen, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can